What's up, MMA Underground? I got Buddy B and the Yankee and the Brit. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody. We didn't even coordinate. Me and Buddy V just showed up for the show with Team Peixoto stuff on. So there was no coordination even involved. That's how good we are.
Right. That's
Well,
how
shout
awesome
out
Brit
to
is.
Peixoto right away.
I just feel so out the fucking guys. Team Peixoto, do you ship to the UK? And if so, hook. I would like to have some gear, please. If not, I understand a fucking grey moss covered piece of shit in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, which is also fine.
Well, I want to give another quick shout out to Overtime Hustling, because they're always hustling overtime and they seem to be hustling for us at times, which is pretty awesome. And make sure you check out Turf Tales, powered by Overtime Hustling on YouTube. They've had me on a couple times. It's a blast. It'll turn you on to a lot of great new music. And man, the hosts will just have you dying. You got to check out Lonnie Dangerous, Freezes, SK. It's a good time over there. And I seen this week they have some fire guests, so you might want to check that out. So you guys, what's been going on, man? Do you guys enjoy the UFC we're going to talk about later?
Oh, yeah. A lot of ups and downs. I'm glad I didn't have any money on there. I almost bet. I was this close to betting. Ooh.
And I will give you guys my controversial take. Sorry, Maddie.
Good. It's just in my Super Bowl haze and teaching assignment writing, I haven't been able to catch up on all the highlights, but the little bit I have seen looked like a good night. How
Yeah, I'm going to have a take that I think not a lot of people are going to love. But you guys, this week's a little different. So we usually have guests on live every week, but there was a dude I really felt like that I needed to talk to. Maddie and Buddy were actually busy at the time he could do the interview. So I got to do the interview with him by myself. It was a good time. I really enjoyed talking to this man. But our schedules never meet up because he fights and he works full time. Makes it a little rough for him to meet up. So we did it pre-recorded. But we have, and this is a tongue twister, guys, Bobo, the Bible Belt Brawler, O'Banion. And I did it without messing that up. So, yeah, guys, I'm kind of sorry you guys didn't get to talk to him, man. It was a really good interview, but I think you two will enjoy it also.
Oh, heck yeah. I can't wait to watch it.
And it takes a special kind of dude to fight bare knuckle, right? Like, seriously, to just get in there. And we talk about what made him choose bare knuckle, too, so it's pretty interesting.
All right. I'm interested. I'm intrigued now.
Yeah, it's when we first kind of started this out, Jay, we kind of had a couple of bare knuckle fighters on when we first started this out last year, and I was like, these are some fucking crazy dudes. I didn't even realize that bare fighting outside of a football game existed. So, yeah, let's hear what he's got to say. Let's see this interview.
All right, guys, it's time for Bobo, the Bible Belt Brawler, O'Banion. Welcome, everybody. I'm Jay. This is MMA Underground. We are here with Bobo, Belt Brawler O'Banion from BKFC. I've been wanting to talk to you for a while. I'm excited to get you on. I know we had to pre-record this because our schedules don't match up for the live show, but I appreciate you making time to come on with us.
Oh, man, I appreciate you having me on, and I apologize.
Guys, I screwed that up, and we will get right back to that. I was trying to get the rest of us out of there for you so you could just watch.
Oh, no, it's just
shift schedule, so I apologize about that.
No problem. I got a lot of questions, but we'll start with that. How do you balance training and working a full-time job?
It's been pretty easy, I guess. I've been working 4 10s, and I just get off work, come home, train with Jason Williams with Boxer Tricks. We train online via FaceTime. And, but I do my training after I get off my 10 hours, and then, you know, I have 3 days a week, most of the time 2 days a week, where I get to go and do, you know, whatever I want to do, and as far as training goes and all.
Yeah, and I know you told me your trainer's out of Wales. Man, he's going to be sad because it's where his heritage is, even though he lives in England. But it's midnight there, and he has to take in the morning, so he couldn't be with us. But I know he'd be excited just to hear that you train with somebody from Wales.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's awesome. Man, he's an awesome guy, man. You know, us getting to know each other, spending time on FaceTime with one another. He's an awesome fella. He's a heck of a trainer. I'm not a very good student, but he's a heck of a trainer, man. And we've been working together since, I guess, last March now, and March or April, I believe it was. And anyhow, he's been able to teach me a lot, and it's crazy the amount of knowledge he can transfer online over FaceTime.
Yeah, Zoom, FaceTime, like we're using StreamYard. It's all changed the world. Like, and we kind of locked out in the pandemic. A lot of things can happen over the internet that none of us thought of before.
So that's how he figured all this out. Is he had fighters that still wanted to train with him, and you know, they couldn't do it in person, so they started doing it via the FaceTime or whatever it is. And you know, that's how he got started and all this, and that's encouraged him to reach out to me.
Really cool. So I gotta ask, what made you get into fighting? Like, that's something I ask every fighter, because we all know it takes a special kind of person to get up and go, I'm gonna get punched in the face today.
Man, whenever father was doing the tough man contest, and I've been 6 foot tall since I was about 12 years old. So, you know, I've always been a big kid. He would use me as his sparring partner, his sparring dummy, really. Man, I'd end up busted up, black eyes, busted nose, you know, whatever. And then the kids started coming by, seeing him beating up on him, and it was like, hey, that looks fun. Can we beat up on him? And so, you know, these are all kids 2 and 3, 4 years older than me. When you're only 9, 10, 11 years old, that makes a huge difference in a couple of years. But you know, they get in there and they start sparring with me, which was nothing more than just a beat the crap out of Bobo session. But I started learning there. I got real physical there. I got real tough. Started playing high school football. Got real tough. Was a standout as an offensive lineman. Had, you know, many of colleges want me to play football for them. But then in high school, I found out about the Tough Man contest, which is a one-night single elimination boxing tournament. And I went out there and beat the first 2 people, one punch knockouts. Got in there with somebody knew what he was doing, and got stopped. And that happened about 3 times. So then I started training for it, and I was like, man, this stuff's fun when you're in shape, when you can train. And so started winning all the tough man contests out there. They kicked me out, wouldn't let me compete no more, and so I turned pro. The guy that was training me for the tough man contest, also a professional boxing trainer. And so I turned pro after that. So that's kind of a little bit of what led me there.
So that tough man, that's like what Mr. T was famous for, being that kind of thing, right?
Yes, sir. The one I fought mostly was in Mobile at the fairgrounds. It was called I don't know, the backyard, I think is what it was called. I don't really don't remember. But they we won it, was winning it, and then I got invited by a friend to come to the one that's on the FX with the yellow and black gloves to fight at the casino in Biloxi on that tough man contest that was on TV. I was like, it was pretty cool winning money on TV. So then I got into it that way. Won it, then ended up turning pro and did professional boxing for a little while after that. And I didn't, man, you get hit with them gloves, that's hard, that's solid, that hurts you for weeks. But I've seen Mr. Roy Jones Jr. or Roy Jones Sr. wrapping one of my buddy Brock Weaver's hands getting ready for, he said, a bare knuckle fight. And I was like, no, that's illegal. And after I called him and talked to him and everything, he told me sure enough. And I just kind of hit the ground running from there. He'd give me the people to get in contact with, and I reached out immediately. Fun fact here, I agreed to my first fight in the second week of January. I was 305 pounds. I had to make 265. That was the week of January. I was 305 pounds. By the first week of April at weigh-ins, I was 259.
Damn, you put the work in for that one.
Yeah.
So fighting those guys out, and I know I'm sure that some of them travel, but you said Mobile, and I'm guessing you mean Alabama, because I lived in Irvington, which is a tiny little town outside of it for a little while. When I was 18, those are some tough corn-fed dudes down there.
Okay, so I didn't realize I was talking to somebody that knew, but Irvington is home. I just Mobile includes, the county or whatever. So when you're talking to people from abroad, you just say Mobile because it's kind of easy to explain that way. But yeah, Irvington is home. Irvington, that where I grew up, where we get bored and we'd beat each other up. Yeah.
I lived there for like a year. So I moved down by my uncle, and here's a funny story, because straight Yankee coming down to the south. I'm 18 years old. I can't find this road called 2 Mile Road. And so I stop and I ask for directions, and the lady literally looks into my face and she goes, honey, you go down yonder. She goes about, I don't remember how many paces. And then she's like, take a left at the broken whatever tree. And I said, ma'am, I don't know where yonder is, how far a pace is, and I can't tell you the difference between an oak tree and an apple tree.
Yeah, that's home. That is home.
So did you spend any of the weekends going out to the back then it was the Busch Series races and stuff like that?
Yeah. The International Speedway, yes sir. We'd go out there, and I didn't go a whole lot. I'm not gonna lie, I said it's been a whole lot, but I went probably 10 times or so to the drag races and a couple dozen times to the round track. And man, I'm not gonna lie, the drag races were pretty cool. But my favorite thing was going to the round track and watching wrecks.
Yeah, see, and I'm not gonna lie, the only reason I went because I didn't know nothing about racing is because that's what girls were when I was 18 for some on a Saturday.
Yep, can't hear nothing nobody saying to each other but having a blast.
Yeah. So, but I gotta ask, when you get the chance to fight bare knuckle, like what in your head goes, that's a good idea?
The lack of gloves. I've got pretty good hand speed for a heavyweight, and with the gloves on, I've got pretty good hand speed and take off, and I feel as if for a heavyweight, I've got real good hand speed, and you know that was part of it, and the other just simple logic of it. Okay, in professional boxing, I've got a cast on my hand with the goggles and tape. It forms into pretty well a doggone cast on my hand. Then I've got a boxing glove on top of that. I could, with that glove on, I could take it and I can try to drive my hand through a 1 inch thick sheet of plywood without any problem, without the risk of hurting my hand. Now, you take that glove off and you can only tape up to where my just before my knuckles there. All right, I can't punch that piece of plywood real doggone hard no more. I got to be careful how hard I punch it on my hand. I got thinking about that. I was like, man, this would be all right. This would be pretty cool, you know. Plus, growing up fighting and everything, beating up on each other, I was like, yeah, you know, kind of affects people. So, yeah, I just like the idea of it.
So I really wanted to play your last intro on this show, but I don't want to kick off of YouTube for copyright infringements. But that was very cool. So I'm not gonna lie, like I had heard the song "Welcome to My House" or "Home." I forget. "Welcome to My House" on
Yep.
YouTube because I listen to Jelly Roll, so it rolls into some other stuff, you know. But like I like that song, but I didn't really know much about New Breed, Jesse Howard. And then I see you reaching out online and you're like, hey, comment. Let's get them in here. So I'm like, okay, I'm a comment. And then I see
Right.
that you got them to come out and walk out with you singing that song. How cool was that?
Man, that was awesome. That was like I can't express it enough to let you know how awesome it was. You know, I got gotten in touch with Jesse because a buddy of mine, Trip Ellis, he is from Balabatcher down there, and he's got a cousin who somehow or another was working with Jesse at some point, or whatever the story is. I don't know 100% certain. I didn't catch that part, but anyhow, um, he got in touch with Jesse for me, got me in touch with Jesse, and told me to write people to contact or whatever, and made it happen. And I asked him about the song. He was like, "Dude, are you serious?" He said, "That would be awesome. Heck yeah." He asked me. He said, "You mind if I ask, you know, New Breed to come with me?" I was like, "Dude, you know that would be amazing. Heck yeah!" But you know, that's Jesse's song. Jesse's got the vocals in that song, and so New Breed just kind of walked out with us, and he was singing a little bit with him too, though, and that was cool, man. That was probably the highlight of my career, I'll say.
See, and I live in Wisconsin right now, so Wisconsin people would understand that song like people from the South. I don't think if you when you're not from the South or an area like Wisconsin, Kentucky, you're actually going to wrap your head around that because, like, that's some real stuff where we all live. Like, we're all cool. Show up at my house and it's going to be completely different.
Exactly. You can raise whatever cane you raise right there in the front yard or holler and cuss, whatever. Just stay right over there. The second you come up on this porch,
So, a lot of the reason I wanted to talk to you is one, you are hilarious. You and your wife are hilarious. Follow on Facebook. I get such enjoyment out of you. Your faith drives you, and as a fighter, I like. I'm not saying fighters don't have faith or whatever, but yours is out in the open, up front. You like the pictures of you praying together with your wife and whoever before fights and different things. I find it really touching. And I think that your Facebook is so inspirational and funny. That's a lot of the reason I wanted to talk to you. So if you could touch a little bit on how faith just drives your life in general.
yeah, man, definitely. Without God, I'm not here. Without God, I'm probably in a drug house somewhere or done got picked up by somebody hired a hired hand to go beat people up or whatever an old scoundrel more or less. But God gives me a reason. The faith gives me a reason. Seeing the blessings that God has put in my life and seeing the things that God has done for me, the bad situations He turned around, man, it's just awesome. I mean, those things didn't happen to me before I started following Christ. Then once I started following Christ, following God, then I started praying about it and things started coming together for me. And it all the way up to the point of meeting my wife. I followed God close as I possibly could. I fell every day, still do, but I still kept a solid attempt, solid effort to be there, and follow God the way I'm supposed to. And was single divorced for a year and a half, and all of a sudden, just a train of events met my wife. We met December the 20th and got married on the following January the 15th. And I wish I'd have met her 10 years before.
That's awesome. And you two on Facebook going back and forth are absolutely hilarious. It's kind of like me and my wife. I always say, if people took what we joke about out of context and threw it in a magazine, we would be the worst people in the world. And that's kind of back and forth, taking a context. Like, take the meme off and then just you two say to each other, it'd be like they hate each other, but that's not what it is. And it's just so awesome.
Man, she's just, she's a very, very jealous person, my wife. Oh, man, I know it don't seem that way joking around it, but she's very, very jealous. I've lost a whole bunch of weight, and she's still really, really fat. So, I mean, she's jealous of that, and I keep trying to help her, but she just likes some Oreos, man, and there's nothing I can do about that. But but no, in seriousness, man, she yes, we do cut up, we do joke, we do have fun. here's been my outlook ever since I got out and on my own and kind of doing my own thing, whatever, in life. What I figured out is we're alive. Period. You can't deny that we are alive, and we're gonna continue being alive until we die. Now, that's obvious, but while you're alive, do you want to have fun or do you want everything to be dreadful? Because you can either have fun, joke around, cut up, pick on yourself so other people can join in, whatever, just whatever it is about, whatever it takes to have a good time, whatever it takes to put a smile on somebody else's face. I'd rather be that away than walk around dreary and just, like an Eeyore all day long, you know?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I appreciate the way you and your wife go back and forth. I appreciate the faith and humor. You're a great follow on Facebook. So I want to talk to you about something because I think there's a misconception out there in bare knuckle. So you know him way better than I do, but I want to talk to you about Brandon Lambert a little bit because people follow him on Facebook, and I don't know him well, but I did have him on the show, and I got to have a real conversation with him. And I think people take his Facebook or his online stuff as that he's just a jerk off. And I don't find that to be the truth at all, having a conversation with him. I think he's a really nice guy who gets very fed up with certain things and just doesn't have a filter and lets them fly. Am I wrong?
No, you are 100% correct. Lambert is an awesome, awesome guy, an awesome fella. He found out that the Delta-8 and CBD products helped my wife with her 20 diseases, nerve diseases and everything. But he found out that the CBD and the Delta-8 products and everything helped my wife, and it helps her feel better. It gives her some pain relief, but at the same time, she consumes the CBD products today, and it helps her be better for tomorrow. And it actually does good. And her cardiologist has even told her that it's doing better. But anyhow, so he found all that out. We had a conversation. He was, this dude sends us a box, a small shoe, small little shoe box with, I don't know, $400 or $500 worth of stuff in it for my wife. I'm like, man, dude, you didn't have to do. We already had a relationship and everything, and but I was like, dude, you didn't have to do that, man. He said, I know, but I love y'all, Bobo, and I want you to understand I love y'all. This is part of me showing you. So, that and man, you see him out in public, you see him interacting with the kids, you see him interacting with people. He really is an awesome fella, man. He really is. It, he put aside a fake out there. Why? To gain viewers. Uh, just like Mayweather. You either love him to death and pay to see him for that reason, or you hate him and can't stand him and you pay to watch the fight hoping somebody's going to knock him out.
No, I agree. It's the Conor McGregor, the Kobe Covington, the Jorge Masvidal. It's you tune in to watch them win, or you tune in praying they get knocked out. And but the thing is you tune in, and like
Exactly.
I just think like the that he will say anything, and I mean anything, is another reason. It's the opposite reason I follow you, but for the same reason that it's hilarious. Like
Right.
he gets me laughing because he doesn't have a problem just interacting with somebody on there and telling them to go F themselves.
Yeah, exactly. He has you hit the nail on the head while he has no, he's not gonna try to, and I I love him to death. I really do. Without a doubt, I really do love him to death. And I wouldn't ask him to filter himself or change himself, because that's him. If one day he decides that, hey, I'm tired of this, I want to turn over a new leaf, and decides he wants to start trying to turn things around, change himself, whatever you want to call it, yeah, I'll still be right here with him, here full time all the way around. I really like him. He's a very, very good-hearted person, and he's also a very just like I am, a very short fuse, I guess. So it don't take much to set him off.
So another thing you and I have in common is crypto. You and I are into Shiba. You and I watch that kind of stuff. It's moving on it. It's moving for us again. It's moving for us again. But how'd you get into it? Because me, I just had friends who just hounded me until I did something. So I got into a few different types of cryptos, and then I became obsessed with watching it on my phone every day.
Man, you hear all these stories about these people invested in Bitcoin when it was a couple $100 a share, and now millionaires, and then the Dogecoin come along, and it just had that Dogecoin blow up, and hearing all kind of stuff about it. I got to thinking about it. I was like, man, I want to invest in one of these coins. Maybe branch out and invest in a couple of them, but for sure at least one of them, and maybe I can hit the lottery, so to speak, and become one of them guys that hit it big or whatever. So I got to research. I seen Shiba on Coinbase. It had just got listed on Coinbase, and it was a new asset or whatever they called it. And I was like, huh, what is this? Let me look at it. It looks cheap. And so I got to looking at it, reading about it, and I said, well, it looks promising, maybe in a couple of years to do something. So my first time I bought in, I bought $150, and it bought me 20.7 million tokens. Then I bought in 2 weeks later with $150. It bought me like 4.6 million tokens. So I seen it was climbing drastically, the price of it. So I'm happy with it, wanting to hang on to it. It also does have me looking at other coins and tokens, and kind of wanting to see what's going on with everything. And it won't be too much longer, and I'm gonna go ahead and buy me the whole long term.
Well, this is not advice, but to buy, but to look up. XLM is supposed to have a 3-year projection of a high jump. Bought in it low, and I'm getting my ass kicked on it right now, but it's crypto. But Shiba, I got I think 60 million. So I always joke, if this thing even time, nobody's ever seeing me again.
Yeah, I've got 69.7 million tokens, and if it hits, what was it? I think a dime, then I think it's $6.9 million is what I'd have, or 6.9 million is what I end up having. I'm pretty willing to tell you, on $6.9 million, I'm gonna cash out 4 of it. I'll let 3 of it ride, cash out the rest, and live a happy life is what I'll do.
And then one thing I wanted to ask you about, because I know he's part of the bare knuckle family, is any more word on how Chris Lieben's doing? Prayers and T's and P's to him and his family.
You know, I don't personally know Chris Lieben. I don't know that I've ever personally met Chris Lieben, but being part of the fight community here, many people talk about how stand up guy he is. You know, it kind of, I don't care who you are, if you got a need, and I'm gonna share it. You know, try to get prayers out there whenever I see it. But I seen that and I was like, man, you know, get prayer war. So let's, get this man some help from above. And but outside of that, I seen a status last night. I think I shared it where he said he was out of the intubation or whatever, and was still not out of the woods yet, but was on a long road to recovery. So that was very encouraging. That was, I was happy to see that.
And for a guy like me who's followed combat sports my whole life, I remember, and I'm going to age myself, but I was like 14 when the first UFC came out, and I rented it on VHS. Well, actually, I had to have my mom come down to rent it because you had to be a certain age to rent it. And I've been following Chris Lieben since The Ultimate Fighter, so it's like you almost feel like like I always say this, like when Kobe Bryant died, everybody had such a feeling, and people were like, how can you? I feel like it comes down to, even with Chris Lieben, I feel like I know him, even though he doesn't know me.
Right. Exactly. And see, there's a lot of guys who put on a character, for 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 the camera, for the shows, during their interviews, and so. And that's cool because they've made a character, and that's what they play. That's the person they keep themselves in, and that's cool. I'm not one of them, but I only say that to say that sometimes these arrogant buttholes that you see, arrogant that you see TV and fighting in the UFC and all, in real life, they're good people. They just, they put on show for the camera, so to speak. Because honestly, who wants to? I'm not gonna sell very well if I stay my little version of me. Now I'm not much different on camera, not much at all. I do speak more and am a little bit louder whenever I talk, and but I'm at the house. My wife hollers at me all the time. Huh? I can't hear you. She be sitting right there beside of me. But yeah, it's cool getting to actually meet some of these people. I met Antonio Tarver at my first fight back in BKFC 5. And that was pretty cool. I've trained with Roy Jones Sr. over in Pensacola, and we met Junior a couple, 2 or 3 times, and he's super cool, humble, laid back human being. There, he is awesome. But yeah, getting to meet these people that you've seen on TV growing up and everything, that's pretty cool, man.
Jones Jr. is my favorite fighter. James Lights Out Tony, but that's just because James Tony was always on USA. So that, Friday night fights, I'd get to watch him on USA. But yeah, Roy Jones and James Tony. But what's next for you? What do you got coming up?
I don't know yet. I'm what's next for me is let my foot heal up. Getting ready for work. and, running a little behind in a hurry, and you got the stop on that holds the bed up, and I kicked it with my toes, man. I thought I broke my 2 toes closest to my big toe. But as soon as that heals up, I'm just go back to work and see what happens. See what they are, where it's gonna be, whatever. But I got to get in shape so I can be ready for that whenever it may be.
All right. Anything you're promoting? Any sponsors you have, or any sponsors you want to shout out and go, hey, throw something my way?
Man, I've got a list of sponsors. I had to send them to get you to put them on a clip for me. But
I will put them on the promo, and I will drop them in the description. Any links to them, I'll get in the description. So anybody watch, you'll be able to go down in the description of the YouTube channel and click any of those links.
Beautiful. I greatly appreciate you for that. We wife does still take sponsors for us, and she contact her, reach out to me, and I'll put you in touch with her or whatever. But outside of that, man, I just want to thank God for giving me the ability and the opportunity to be out here doing this and being able to spread the good word of the Lord.
Well, I with that, I love that you're out there leading by example, your faith. I think it's awesome when people do that. And I thank you so much for your time. And thank you again for coming on, and good luck in whatever's next.
Thank you, sir. You have a blessed one.
All right, guys, we're back. I know there was some technical difficulties going on there for a minute. So I'm going to drop the whole video because it was clear when I recorded it, and I have a clear version of it. So I'm not sure if it was on my technical problems or what, but I will drop that as soon as we get done with this live show. So you can go back if you were getting glitched out and watch it, because it was a really good interview. First time with us uploading a pre-recorded interview, so it can go completely as planned, let's say. But we're learning as we go, and I think things will just get better from here. But he was a great interview, and I'm excited to talk to him again in the future and see what's going on.
Yeah, he's a tough dude when he's training with somebody from Wales. So that's always going to make you a bit tough. Well,
I knew you would like that.
Job, so
I like how he was all excited. He was like, I like it, no gloves, just bare knuckles. Dang!
Right? It takes a special kind of dude.
It's just insane. I was the one to get a ring with somebody that big as well, like bare knuckle. Maybe if I had American football style pad on, bulletproof vest, and one of those massive sumo suits, then maybe I would allow him to push me in a ring. Not punch me either. But yeah, England are playing Wales in rugby this weekend. So Cymru and Bith. I just wanted to say that before we went on with anything. Great.
All right. So let's talk about some UFC 271. Everybody, we can talk about whatever fights, but am I the only one who was disappointed in Derek Brunson? I expected more out of him, and I hate to say that, but I like him as a fighter, and I felt like he didn't put up as good of a fight as I thought he was gonna.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, but I mean, sorry.
That's all I had.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, because Jared was what? He was already talking about trying to come in for Adesanya anyway, so he's coming out and he's trying to make a point to make it known that I'm going to be striking with you. I'm not going ground game. So I was impressed with him. But like you said, Derek, I actually expected a little bit more. I mean, around 2 KO.
Yeah, it wasn't that I'm trying to shit on the guy, because I'm not. I went in cheering for the guy and left disappointed, if that makes sense as a fan's point of view. So I don't want it to come up like I'm shitting on him, but I really wanted him to win that fight, and I felt like it just wasn't his night, man. It wasn't his night.
And it's crazy. I like to look at the wins and losses. What, Derek's 33-8, and Jared was 15-5. I mean, I was not expecting that. Woo!
Yeah, it was a nasty knockout as well. It was just the way he got knocked out was kind of a different level. One referee step in, however, the guy stumbling all over the deck. Why aren't you jumping on top of that? Because 4 bats in while he was on the deck, just clean to the face and that elbow as well. That was scary watching his head bounce back off the mat, man. That kind of made me cringe a little. What the shit kicked out of him. It looked like he wasn't ready to fight, and he came in saying, "Look, I'm the better wrestler, so he's going to be focusing on that. So that gives me a chance to show my different side of his game." And then getting knocked out striking, which is apparently what he was working on. I find that a bit embarrassing for him, really.
Another fight, though, that I felt the same way is I felt like Derek Lewis came in just to get paid. And I love Derek Lewis, man. My balls is hot, Joe. I just love Derek Lewis. I mean, as a fighter and interviews, and he comes from a rough background, and he's fighting to make money for his family. And I get all that. But I feel like this was almost just him there for a payday this time.
Yeah, you can kind of see with the intensity and everything else they came in with. I mean, similar situation. He has more wins under his belt. I'm expecting a little bit more of a fight, a brawl. I mean, the heavyweight division's already so stacked. We were talking about last time. And then you have Ty coming out. What? He's on a 5-win streak. What is it, not 5 knockouts, just a 5-winning streak. But I mean, this dude's coming heavy-handed, and with that elbow finish. Woo!
Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. I'm not. I'm just saying I expected more out of Derek Lewis. And then when he got in there, every once in a while, Lewis gets into these fights where you're like, did you put in the work? Because when he's up besides the Francis Ngannou fight where they both were afraid to throw a punch, which I don't know what that was about. But other than that, when it's like a title fight or a big fight, Lewis comes in ready to knock somebody out. And I felt like that wasn't the same Derek Lewis. Not like I said, it's not taking anything away. It's just I watched it from the, I mean, you're right, nasty elbow. Like, I'm not trying to take that away. I'm just saying, like, Lewis disappointed me also. I was disappointed in two of the guys I was cheering for.
And like you said, he's coming in and what, like that first round, he was trying to get like a single leg. He's trying to work on what he does, but he just wasn't coming with that same intensity. I mean, it revved up a little bit in round 2, but I mean, you're talking what, a day late, $1 short, just tad too late.
And it's, you look at the experience levels of the two of them. So Derek Lewis is now 26-9, and Ty is 15-3. I mean, that's a different level of experience on that stage. And sometimes, like the young guy that's coming in, and like when you've had as much experience as Derek Lewis, then maybe you're kind of looking for those last couple of paydays. But I'm not fancying that elbow just for that payday. That was nasty, a nasty finish.
Exactly. See, if you go out at half-assed, you're gonna get hurt, though.
Yeah.
Like I said, not to take away from him or anything, but I mean, that second round, they were throwing some heavy blows. I mean, afterwards, they started actually going shot for shot. But I mean, if you don't come out from the gate, I mean, Ty he definitely had a good control. And like you said, I expected a little bit more from Derek Lewis, but I mean, I guess everybody has their day. I just hope he's able to heal up a lot quicker.
And I don't want it to sound like I am shitting on fighters, because I'm not. It's just I went in with different expectations than what I saw as a fan. You know, like I'm not going to get out there and do what they do, but I definitely had different expectations going into it. And then here comes my very unpopular take. And I want to start this by saying, I love Izzy. Okay. I love Izzy. Robert Whittaker beat him. Robert Whittaker got robbed in that fight. Robert Whittaker won that fight. And the only reason they didn't give it to him is because you have to put away a champ decisively, I think. But I think Whittaker won that fight.
I definitely feel like that was a close call, you know, because he revved it up towards the end of the rounds. You know, he definitely had rounds like 4 and 5, in my opinion. Izzy had 1 and 2. 3 is definitely where it gets debatable. I feel like it was seeing the ref's decision, or the judges, I mean, it was interesting to see how close it was, but somebody had 49-46. When you're in a fight that close, I don't understand how there could be that much of a gap. And it depends how you look at it, because I feel like Whittaker definitely had a little bit better trying to engage in the wrestling. He was taking him down, but I mean, how many times did Adesanya just pop right back up, or he didn't let him make too many advancements or get into there? You could tell he was working on his wrestling game, and I mean, he was definitely trying to keep his distance with Whittaker. But I mean, who is it? Michael something, another UFC fighter, even commented, "You need to get out there and fight," because Adesanya, he was kind of being careful with his shots and whatnot. But it was almost like he said, "Oh, you're not getting paid to go out there and have a hard spar. You're out there to defend your belt. Defend it." But I mean, I felt like Whittaker, being one of the very few to be able to knock Adesanya out and give him a run for his money, Adesanya had to make sure that he wasn't reckless or going in too crazy. Because if he leaves himself open, he knows that's an opportunity Whittaker could have took, and it would have been lights out for him. And on the streak he's on now, that wouldn't be too hot for him.
I think you see a lot in boxing as well, where your point about the champ, you need to be decisive if you're going to defeat the champ. In boxing, I think back to the AJ Joshua Parker fight, where lots of people think Parker won that, but AJ was kind of able to just guide his way through the fight rather than having to take it to them, because it's more like, I'm wearing the belt, come get it off me, then I need to beat you up to prove that I deserve this belt a lot of the time. Is how I think the judges look at it. So if you're kind of if you're wanting the belt, then you grab it off him by being decisive. And I'm not sure how decisive that really was. I think it was evenly matched, just like Buddy's.
For me, I don't think they gave Whittaker enough credit for the takedowns because of how fast Izzy got up. And I think that, for me, was the difference in the scoring. But like, I have a real problem with the fact that they use judges who judge boxing for MMA, and that they use the same 10-9 rules. And it's like, it should be scored completely differently. And then, like, in MMA scoring, I know damage is supposed to be the highest, but I don't always believe that's taking into account. I like the idea of some other people who are in real hot trouble right now with cancel culture, Joe Rogan. I like his idea about get 10 refs who know MMA or whatever the number is, let them watch it on TV and score it from 1 to 100 each round. And then whoever's got the most points, because these MMA guys would know what a crucial takedown is compared to just a, you know, oh, he got him in a lucky takedown, got up. They understand like how hard the groundwork is. They'll understand more of working from the ground, from your back. Sometimes the guy's doing more work from his back, but the guy who's just laying on top gets more credit when the other guy's going for submissions from the back. So I think MMA fighters should be the ones judging MMA, or people at least in the MMA world.
Oh yeah, and it's interesting to see the fact that I feel like a lot of people, when you watch UFC, how many guys, oh, fight, blood, they want that exciting back and forth, but they don't take a lot of these fighters' condition. If I really have a bloodbath every fight, I'm looking at 5-6 months of recovery. So what, 2 fights a year? And I know Adesanya was talking about how he wants 6 fights a year. Like, dang, I don't know if they could get that, but at that match was on another level because the strikes they were doing, the takedowns, everything and whatnot, they're on a higher caliber, a higher level. So someone who watches sports, or like you guys understand MMA, you can appreciate it, versus the typical guy at a bar is going to get mad because he's not seeing blood all over the mat and he's getting pissed off. But to us, we can sit here and talk about it, break down the moves that they're doing. And I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and I think the problem that you have when you have people who are referees for boxing is the easiest way to describe the boxing judging rules is by watching Olympic boxing, where you take points for hits on the head and things like that. And those, you don't necessarily get points for being, you get points for in the cleanest shots and that kind of stuff. Whereas in what I've watched of UFC, and I'm a newcomer compared to you guys of UFC, from what I've watched, you kind of want the aggressor to be the person that's getting the points. You want the guy putting in the most work and like using the best techniques and getting a few take here and there, that kind of stuff. You want them to be getting the points rather than just focusing on who's getting a clean shot like here and there. So like Calzaghe basically made a living off just being a kind of clean hit kind of guy, stay behind the pins, clean hit, clean hit, clean hit. You don't really want that in UFC. You want to be like foot and using the best techniques in their takedowns and doing the most work and that kind of thing. And you need to get different refs in if that's what you want.
Well, you guys, you know what time it is? It's time for everybody's favorite segment of the show.
Buddy V's Fighters to Watch.
This is the only reason people are still watching.
Absolutely.
We're getting ready. Now, I like to keep it fair because obviously, you know, I pick people from West Coast, the OG Yard, Scrap Yard, and a few of them are going to be on the BOK Prime Live. I'm pretty stoked for that. I have what my pick this week is actually a Scrap Yard local, and he's a belt holder. He just became a belt holder. The video dropped not too long ago, but Jabberwocky. Now, the reason I picked this man is not just technique that I'm seeing him. You're talking about a man who has toughness and heart to back it up just the same. I mean, I see him, and he has a hit where he's coming. He throws his hands up, he blocks it, boom, nothing, no damn. Hold on, I'm on the left. Sorry, guys. And then you have another minute where he's dropping his guard for a minute, crack, it hits him in the head. He's getting hit by a kick, and he doesn't even fall. He doesn't get phased. He doesn't anything. He's still going forward with 110%, having the same technique, no matter how tired he is, no matter what mistakes he does. He's still coming forward, still pursuing, and it's just like the normal person I know would have got knocked out. Doesn't happen. And I know he puts the training in. He gets better every fight. He's with, training TFW over in Lacey. He's constantly putting the work, training with people heavier than him, harder than him. And I think not just the belt, but I think he's going to start having a target on his back. People are going to come trying to take it from him, and he's going to show people what he's really about.
I love him. His fights are good. I can't wait to see more to come from him. But I figure, guys, we already ate up a whole hour of these great people who have been watching. So I will drop that interview with Bobo again right as we get off here so you can see the clean version of it. Well, not that it was dirty. You know what I mean. So,
yeah.
Everybody.
I was going to say, so I brought it up to you before, the Hunter Boom, real quick. First guy in MMA ever to technically be scalped. Ever. So I don't know if it was a padding malfunction or whatever, but he was fighting in Oklahoma at Fire Lake Arena, And in the first 17 seconds of the match, he got into a hold, and then he went right into where the door was, and just 8 inches straight across, lifts up. Now, I'm not going to say too much because it's graphic, but if you look on the photos, if you find it, Hunter Boone, you will see his skull. That's all I'm going to say.
I didn't even know that happened, and I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Damn! Yeah, it's brutal.
He's keeping that hidden. That'll come out later. I've got a fighter that I really liked that I saw the other day. I watched a fight from it was 6 months ago, and I want to know where he is because I want him to fight again. But El Chapo, and I watched his fight against Crazy Hands. That dude, right, was just taking some punishment the entire time. He was just sat there taking punishment.
Yeah.
Smash one straight to the face, without punishment, just hit to the face every now and again. And Crazy Hands dazed out of his mind. And Crazy Hands is a good fighter, so I want to see El Chapo coming back. That's what I want to see. I was very impressed with that fight.
He can't come back, Maddie. He can't come back because he dug his way out of prison, and now the federales have him. Oh, wrong guy. Okay.
Oh man.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Like I said, I'll drop that interview again so you guys can watch it without any technical difficulties. I'm not sure what happened, so I'm sorry about that. Shout out Team Peixoto.
You know, though.
Shout out Overtime Hustling. Shout out our boy Cuzzo. And all right, guys. Shout out. Most importantly, let's see the hat. Shout out Zuel.
Shout out to Zuel. Heck yeah. Shout out to my brand, Zuel-world.com for the website. I got not just dope merch. I make all my stuff. There's some new stuff dropping real soon because you do whatever you want in life. Punch someone in the face. Worst it's going to happen is you get hit back. And I'm a living testament to that. So, yeah, win, lose, I'm getting in that cage regardless. And my fight just dropped with SEMA. So, yeah.
Make sure you go check that out. All right, guys. One world, one love. Deuces.
Sorry about that last minute. I don't know why my kids were in the room taking a nap with their tablet. Sorry.
That's all right.